all schools have their own traditions that make it unique and give schools a sense of pride. I would like to think, as a Logansport High School graduate myself, that ours is even more because of having that signature of the first mascot in the state of Indiana and the uniqueness of having Felix the Cat. It kind of puts us a little bit above other mascots that are kind of standard mascots out there that a lot of schools have, where you only have one high school in the state of one high school in the nation that has Felix the Cat as their sole mascot. Is pretty cool. Well, the history of Felix goes back to March 31st, 1926. And at the end of the basketball seasons, they would have the banquet around that date in downtown Logansport at the Barnes Hotel. And as the team, as they were going in that evening to the Barnes Hotel, so this would be the 1926 basketball team, when they were going into the hotel, there was a department store right next to the hotel, and in the window was a free 4-inch Felix the Cat doll in the window. And at that time, Felix the Cat was extremely popular with their cartoons and all the marketing that they did. And this predated Mickey Mouse. So Felix in the 20s, before Mickey Mouse came out, was really popular. So the team seemed to be fixated, enamored with the Felix the Cat doll. And as they were going in, Coach Cliff Wells went inside the department store and purchased the Felix the Cat and then put it on the table during the banquet that night. And at some point, he gave that Felix the Cat doll to Curly Hupp, Raymond Curly Hupp, who actually in the 26 team was a junior on the team, but he would become the captain of the basketball team for his senior year. So at some point in the season, early on in the 26, because of course it's the 26-27 season, so it must have been the first half of the season before the date changed. The Berries apparently were down to some team. I'm not sure which game it is. No one's ever been able to pinpoint that. But they were down and at halftime, and they're in the locker room. Coach Wells is giving an inspirational speech to try to motivate the team to be able to come back the second half. Raymond, Curly Hupp, had kept that Felix the Cat doll in his locker all season at that point. And so he decides to bring the doll out for good luck and put it next to the team on the sidelines there for the second half. And of course, the team came back to rally and win the second half in the game. And so it became the good luck charm. From then on, it became the first high school mascot in the state of Indiana in 1926.
Hello, my name is Peyton Mucker. I am a senior at Logansport High School, and I've been Felix since my sophomore year.
I'm Finley Gay, and I've been Felix for 2 years.
It's honestly, it doesn't feel real most of the time because I am trying to live up to this expectation, but it's also so rewarding because little kids will come up to us and they get so happy to be there, and then Felix is just he is the icon of Logansport High School. So it's I almost feel like I'm carrying that legacy on my shoulders.
It's you're a well-known figure. Everybody knows Felix, so they know what to expect. And you get to go around high-fiving everybody. Kids love you. You can interact with the student section sometimes. It's a great experience overall.
My earliest memory of Felix the Cat was in the year of 2021 to 2022. It was my first ever gig, and it was the homecoming parade. And so I was on top of a fire truck. If you're not aware, every year they do Felix and some of the seniors in the basket of a fire truck, and then all the cheerleaders behind them. We ran into a tree, and my head got pulled off. Well, I don't think anyone saw, thankfully, but it almost fell off the fire truck, so that could have been bad. But so we ran into the tree, and I thought a cheerleader was pulling on the costume, so I was kind of freaking out, but then it just went backwards. so that I just ducked down and had to reach over and then just quickly just put it back on. Other than that, though, my first experiences were pretty good.
Okay, it was my first basketball game, and I was kind of panicking because I was a little late, as I'm prone to being, and I was not ready for what it was, essentially. After the 2.5 hours I spent in the costume, I took it off and breathed that crisp, fresh air from not in the mascot hand, and I have a picture of it. Not seeing the light of day ever. It was horrible. But it was really fun overall. Horrible, but really fun.
So when I was younger and my brother was in high school, he was Felix the Cat as well. So it was always like kind of a part of my life. I would go to games to help my brother get into the costume, and I would see all the behind the scenes, and then I would in return have to watch the game. So I was always kind of eyes set on Felix and like what it is to be a mascot. And then later I got dragged into it willingly.
I would say, I had a picture. I was the bat boy of the baseball team in the 70s. And I have a picture of, as a little bat boy up on the baseball field, now it's Jim Turner Field, of where it's a black t-shirt. And it has I think it's a red Felix on the front of it. And I'm in my little baseball uniform as a bat boy. And that's probably initially where I think back to recalling having a knowledge of or a connection with Felix the Cat as the mascot.
I remember moving here in 4th grade in December, and my biggest question was, why was it a cat? Why was there cats everywhere? Because we called it berries. So why weren't we just berries? But I would come later to learn, there's a long history behind it. But it was originally just puzzling why there was Felix the Cat everywhere when we were called the berries.
Hi, my name is Cooper Pryfogel. I am a freshman at Logansport High School, and the first time that I'll be Felix is at the homecoming parade.
Because me and Finley asked because we thought he could do a good job.
I think that I'll contribute to the school as Felix by making people at games happier and just being able to raise school spirit.
Hi, my name is Jacob Morrow. I am a junior at Logansport High School, and my first time being Felix will be at the pep rally. As a kid, I've always wanted to be like Felix the Cat, because I had to go to a bunch of games for my sister who did volleyball and other sports, so I'd always see Felix there, and I was always interested to be Felix. And when I got roped into it willingly, I was very happy.
So I know it might not be appealing to a lot of people to get into a cat costume every other Friday night, but it's honestly, the positives that come with that are just so much more rewarding. Like, being a mascot and being an icon of, like, for example, any school, any college, any sports team, it's like you are just representing and you are making memories as well as for little kids. Like, one of our most recent games, we got a little drawing from a little girl, Felix the Cat, and it's just little things like that that really just make you feel special, and it just outweighs any negatives. Like, no matter how hot it is in the costume, you just know you're doing something for people.